Appreciate you joining today. Welcome to episode 2 of Netcore's Retail and E-commerce Masterclass, designed to help you drive growth this holiday season. This masterclass is running every week for the next 3 weeks. We hope to see you again next week for episode 3. If you missed episode 1, it's now available for download on the landing page where you registered for this episode. And if you do attend every session, you're going to get insights from a variety of perspectives to help you maximize your holiday season. And you're also going to receive a certification from Netcore highlighting that achievement. This master class is sponsored by Netcore and Netcore Unboxed. We work with brands across the globe to help them drive profitable growth by converting shoppers into buyers and long-term customers. Kath, you may fast forward us right through that next slide, but appreciate the sponsorship from Netcore and Netcore Unboxed. But to the main event, I am delighted to introduce you today to Kath Pay. Kath lives and breathes email marketing with over 23 years of email marketing experience and 10 years on the UK DMA Experience Marketing Email Marketing Council. She's participated as a judge numerous times for the DMA Awards. She's regarded as an international industry thought leader. She was the winner of the EEC's Thought Leader of the Year Award in 2021, as well as being a finalist in 2019. She's the author of the best-selling book, Holistic Email Marketing, A Practical Philosophy to Revolutionize Your Business and Delight Your Customers. It's available on Amazon. I highly suggest you pick it up if you don't have it already. It is on the shelf behind me. Her book also won the highly recommended award for the sales and marketing category in the Business Book Awards last year. Kath, thank you so much for joining us today, and I am going to turn it over to you.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Nick. And I've got to say, it's an absolute honor to be here today. And I'm really looking forward to sharing a few thoughts with you. So I hope that you find them to be beneficial. So after that amazing introduction, I don't know that I need to give anything more about me, other than we work with amazing brands. You can see some really big ones, which are easy to recognize, but we also work with smaller brands too. So all of these insights are coming from all of them, right? Now, today we're going to be looking at maximizing the impact of your most valuable customers to grow lifetime value. Such a catchy title, but it's a meaningful title. And what we're going to do is we're going to check out a whole heap of things. So first of all, I'm going to present to you the business case. So the business case involves looking at the consumer. It involves looking at how they interact with email at the moment. It involves how their needs, their wants, their desires, right, from you, the brands. So marketing in the age of the savvy customer, because seriously, I've been in the, over 2 decades. And I can see during that time, the consumer has grown to be so much more savvy, not just digitally, but also within email itself. So customers are demanding personalization and so much more. They don't like mass marketing, right? They don't like to be sold to as well. And that's a really key one to think about. It's all about how you package. I'm not saying don't sell to them. It's how you package it up to them. They are demanding an experience from you, even online. So this is a really, really key factor, because experience does lead to happiness and trust and loyalty. So keep that in mind. They most definitely want what's easy for them. You know, they're intolerant of actually having to do too many steps when they know that your competitor actually asks them to do fewer steps. So that's a key factor. And as we're going to see today through lots of statistics that I've provided, they want to be rewarded for loyalty. They're happy to be loyal, but there is a price that you guys have to pay for that. So if we have a look at it, right, not all customers are equal. There's different types, and some of the time we tend to treat them all one and the same. And that's where we can have issues, right? So what we're talking about today is those really, really good ones, the ones that are very, very engaged, the ones that buy regularly, the ones that are actually in that top percentage of being your high spenders, right? The ones that are loyal. So we're really, really trying to maximize these guys. Did a webinar yesterday and was talking about low-hanging fruit and how you can leverage that to actually create more, generate more revenue. Loyal customers are one of those low-hanging fruits that you can be doing that. So we can see here that someone who entered a competition to win a holiday online 3 years ago, they've not clicked since. Hey, listen, they're at the bottom of the pile. You want to actually probably do something about them, but that's not today's discussion. Whereas someone, an active customer who buys once a year, but top 10% for order value, he's someone that you want to keep and to recognize and to try and actually increase the value, the lifetime value of. An active customer buys every 4 months. Again, that's someone who you want to be making sure that you're engaging with and that you're helping them to convert. And not just helping them convert for your sake, but for their sake as well. And this is what we really need to be aware of. Everything I'm talking about today is going to be really it's obviously for your benefit, but it's also for the consumer's benefit. Think about it as being two sides of the coin. One side is you have your KPIs, you have your objectives, you have your goals. You want them to buy from you more regularly with an increased average order value. Brilliant. Do you know what they want to do? They want to buy from you too, because they're on your list. Okay. So if we're talking about permission marketing, that's it. So it's really about understanding how you can help them to achieve their objective. The more you help them and you give them what they want, remembering that they're that savvy customer, the more likely you're going to achieve that objective. And if we spend our time focusing on helping them to achieve their objective, we, in turn, by default, will achieve ours. So we've all heard it before, the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule, right? So that means that 20% of your database is going to deliver 80% of the, of your company's revenue. It's not always exactly that. It's not a precise science, but that is a common finding within your database, within your actual email program. So just keep that in mind. A lot of who we're going to be speaking to, they're in the minority. They're not a big segment, but they're a valuable segment. And that's why we want to be doing something really special for them. So this all boils down to retention. Now, I know retention is not sexy. It's kind of like acquisition. Let's go and throw lots of money into acquisition because we want more customers. But seriously, retaining them, increasing the value of them is really, really, really where the money comes into it. Now, the reasons why you want to be focusing on retention is it's where your current revenue lies. It's where your lowest hanging fruit for additional revenue. So that's upselling, cross-selling, and all the rest of it. It's where your biggest advocates lie. It's where your data sits. And we all understand companies now are very much valued on their data, on their database. So this is a really, really important factor. And this is the scary bit. It's the biggest source of prospective customers for your competitors. Now, since the pandemic, there has been a slight shift. People, consumers, are more likely to actually be going and searching for better deals. They're less loyal than they used to be, right? They are now more, certainly even in this economy, which, there's a worldwide economy is struggling. They're very, very money conscious. So we have to be aware of all of these factors when we're putting together the strategy for making sure that we are maximizing, our loyal customers and trying to generate increased lifetime value. The consumer email tracker by the DMA in the UK just came out this year. Brilliant. Go get it if you can. It's got some fantastic insights about the consumers that will really, really help you with your strategy and your business and your approaches. They said promoting loyalty is an even bigger concern during these inflationary times. With prices on the rise, consumers become more promiscuous about their brand choices. Email can be a vital tool in cementing these relationships and boosting loyalty. Now, the reason why they're mentioning email, besides it being an email tracker, email is a push channel. Hey, wow. So that is one of its unique strengths. Well, not unique, but it's a very, very strong USP. There are a few other options. There's, push, and there's also SMS, but email is the first actual channel that was a push channel. And it's the one that's had the longest time here to be generating the loyalty, and also for them to become accustomed to it and using it. And let me tell you, email, in report after report, survey after survey, it delivers the highest return on investment. One of the reasons why it does is simply because it is that push channel, right? And we need to understand and leverage the strengths of that channel to be able to deliver these wonderful messages and programs to our customers. So I'm going to give you 3 stats, right? Just to sort of kick off, just to sort of get the adrenaline happening, get a little bit of excitement, right? So I've put the source here for each of them. But a 5% increase in customer retention can boost profits by up to 75%. This is what I'm talking about. It may be a smaller segment of your database, it's incredibly valuable. The second one is almost 65% of a company's business comes from repeat customers, right? So these are great stats if you want to put together a business case for actually trying to pivot from or to try and get more budget for retention. And the third one is 82% of companies agree that retention is cheaper than acquisition. I think we've all heard that, and this is an actual fact due to this particular stat. Just a quick little case study here. Adidas, the Adi Club members, they found that they buy 50% more often than non-members, right? This is it. They've got a loyalty program in place. Adidas Adi Club members, the lifetime value is double that of non-members. Now, so, like I said, this is kind of the business case. This is setting the scene. This is just sort of making sure that you understand that everything that I'm going to be suggesting to you today is well worth consideration. So I want us to look at customer lifetime value now. Okay, it's a metric that isn't always used. If it is used, it tends to be used by the business rather than marketing, but I think we are underusing it because we definitely can be using it to be identifying KPIs, to be actually identifying those valuable segments. Remember how I was saying one of those in the second slide or so, I was saying one of those top spenders, they only buy once a year. That's the top spending rate. So if you are basing it on frequency of purchases, then those guys wouldn't end up being included and they might get neglected. However, if you start to also use, in addition to the frequency, the customer lifetime value metric, then they will be included within the actual valuable segment that you're going to be working with. So what we want to do is we want to be focusing on the retention and that customer experience. Remember, customer experience really directly contributes to not only that immediate conversion, but also the long-term customer value of that client as well. It is that business metric and not just a marketing metric, and I think we need to use it more. To calculate it, you just calculate a customer yearly spend times the average number of years active. So generally you will know that, whether it's 3 years, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 6 months, that will vary possibly from product to product, certainly from business to business, service to service, and all the rest of it. It also can be, you can do that for the entire database, but you actually worth trying to actually calculate it on a segment basis as well. So you can be, calculating it, your average customer versus your loyal customer. And you'll see that there will be a marked difference between the average customer lifetime value and your loyal customers and their lifetime value. So lifetime value actually alters, lifetime actually alters the value. So what we want to do is we want to actually, now we've worked out that that's what we want to do, we want to put a strategy together. We want to be using this information to be communicating to them appropriately. Now, what I'm saying appropriately, that's going to be, again, up to you and your brand and up to your products, your buying cycle and everything. So that will involve offers, that will involve frequency, that will involve the decision whether you actually want to put together a loyalty program as well. And you can be using the lifetime value to be calculating the value of an email address, which also is incredibly helpful and can be used in a myriad of ways. Certainly, I use that a lot for business cases. I was just talking to a client now. We're going to be calculating that because we want to put together a few business cases to gather more budget and also to get more, get buy-in for a couple of tactics that we want to be using. So once we've done all of this, we're going to understand, have real facts behind us, and understand and know the importance of keeping them on the list, i.e. retaining them. Yeah. And as far as acquisition goes, we also now know how much we can spend to actually be acquiring them. And of course, again, this is for another day, but we can determine what our best sources are and everything like that when we're looking at that. But I'm going to go here now and just present to you a few questions, right, for you to be asking yourself in finding out who your most valuable customers are. Because finding them is one thing, then deciding what to do with them is another thing, right? So the first thing first, we want to be deep diving into the data and finding those. And remember, once we start to apply the lifetime value, we are going to be bringing in those that only spend infrequently or buy infrequently, but have a high spend value. So this is a really crucial step. So we have to be including those as well as those who buy regularly or frequently. So what I want you to do then is, once you've gone and done that, go and ask these questions, right? Get your team together, have a real big brainstorm session, make it a whole day, like make it exciting, put activities together, put white paper up on the walls, and just literally just let the juices flow. No idea is a bad idea. It's just then a matter of saying, okay, this will work logistically. We are capable of doing this, and then prioritizing the ideas that you come out with. But let's go and have a look at this. The first question, what characteristics do all of these high spenders, these loyal customers, what do they have in common? And this is where it gets really, really interesting, because you can identify, that they have some similarities. So one, this is going to help you for acquisition, but two, it's also going to help you in your ability to be able to create a very, very compelling strategy for them. The second one, which of these characteristics can I use to increase the number of them, to make them feel appreciated? We're going to talk more about that. To encourage them to increase their average order value and to become brand advocates. So these are the things you need to be brainstorming, and it's exciting, let me tell you. How did I acquire them? Remember, I sort of referred to this beforehand. This is a really, really meaningful question. And it's something that most of us actually don't necessarily address. How did I acquire them? Because that's also going to give you further insight into them, further insight into their activities, what they like, what they don't like as well. So really drill into this one. Which campaigns actually drive them to act? Yeah. And what do they buy most often? Do they buy at full price or do they buy with discounts? Now, there's a good chance you might get 50-50 by literally, and it also depends on your products. So if you have a great product that needs to be replenished regularly, then maybe you can be selling them to them at full price. But otherwise, you may have to be tapping into the discounts. But it's good for you to know, because at the end of the day, in order for us to actually be increasing average order value, to be increasing the lifetime value of these customers, we want to try and minimize the discounts as much as possible. But at the same time, as I presented at the very beginning, loyalty nowadays is very much reliant upon things like discounts and rewards. So it's going to be, and this is where you need to be very strategic, because the one thing you don't want them to do is become totally reliant on those discounts. You want them to be buying from you at full price, if at all possible, because they need your product, because they love your brand, because they're loyal to your brand, because they're not even going to consider going anywhere else, because you provide such a fantastic customer service to them, right? But it's inevitable that most brands will have to offer discounts at some point in time. So be strategic about it. You don't want them to become reliant on only ever, actioning your offers when there's a discount in place. So what I'm going to be talking about is 10 tactics to increase the customer lifetime value. I'm seeing that there's quite a few questions happening. It's great. So we're going to be jumping into those at the very end. So hold tight, but keep them coming in the meantime. So that's brilliant. So 10 tactics to increase the customer lifetime value. And what I've gone and done is I've kind of prioritized them for more the quick wins. And then at the end of them, the last few are more long-term wins. Thinking about the holiday season is literally just around the corner, and you may not have time to be actioning the longer ones, in time for the holiday season, right? So I want to state here, though, all of these, even if you don't do much for the holiday season, these are going to help you all year round, right? They will help you, of course, for the holiday season, but they're going to help you all year round. They're going to uplift your revenue and your lifetime value. So the first one, cross-sell and upsell with personalized recommendations. So the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%, while the probability of selling to a new prospect is only 5 to 20%. And that was a finding from Invest. And here we can have a look here. Frontier, this is actually a service-based email. Someone has gone and booked, and now they're saying, okay, this is very typical, for a travel company. Hey, why not add more bags? Why not, upgrade your seat? All the rest of it. So, and these work a treat. Even if you're not in a travel company, you can be utilizing this tactic. You can be doing it certainly. E-commerce, retail, absolutely. This is what it's all about. Generally, though, when we're talking about personalized recommendations, depending on your budget, if you can be using AI to do predictive modeling, absolutely brilliant. If not, then do you know what you can do? You can just put in your best-selling products, right? You know what they are. So you can be using those, or you can be having a little model, albeit manual if you need to, that if they buy this, then they're probably going to be buying this because you've delved into your database and you found out that that is the case. So however you choose to do it will be up to you, your budget, and your strategy and however you have to do it. But it's well worth doing. The second one is enhance the customer experience with helpful email marketing. So I came up with this concept, helpful email marketing, years and years ago, because what I find, remember I was saying at the very beginning that email is a push channel. What tends to happen, because it is that push channel, we tend to go, oh, great, we can just deliver whatever we want because, and to meet our KPIs, and we're focused on us, the brand, as opposed to our consumers. So remember what I was saying about the two sides of the coin. It's about focusing on your audience, focusing on your database, on the people in your database, and asking yourself, what is it that we can do to help them? So people love customer service. And I've been known for saying, in fact, I think I wrote in my book, every single email that you write can be regarded as a customer service email, because, provided you have got a permission-based list, because they've gone and signed up to receive emails from you. Therefore, a transaction has happened. And because that transaction has happened, what does that then mean? You're now providing an email program, a strategy, which is helping them to actually achieve their objectives, right? You are now providing a customer service-based email. And as long as we stay focused on the customer, then we can and package things up so that they are helpful. So that previous example of what I said about the frontier, that's a perfect example of helpful marketing, because it's saying, okay, you've booked, great, that's fantastic. Now, how can we make your journey better for you? How can we improve it? How can we provide a customer service? Well, here's some easy ways of doing it. Yeah. So happy and satisfied customers are 87% more likely to purchase upgrades and new services. So this is a really, really key. Just get this concept in mind. Helpful email marketing. Try and make sure that, do a sanity check every time you send an email. You can even do basic things like, there used to be this fantastic calculator called the Wee calculator. I think there's one still out there like it, and it basically goes through and it counts how many times you use the word you, right, and versus we, and a few other ones, but brand-centric wording versus consumer-centric wording. And this can help you to actually become more consumer-focused, but also get that helpful marketing in place. The third one is to overtly recognize them and treat them differently. So, I'm going to point back here to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I've been talking about this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs and email for, I don't know, forever. And this is one of the key factors, how we can tap into these needs of the people, right, of our consumers. And at the end of the day, that's really what we want to do. We want to understand our consumers. We want to tap into what motivates our database, our consumers, our customers. So what I want to do is, okay, fantastic. We've got a poll up there. So what I want to do here is just tell you a little bit about why Maslow's hierarchy of needs is relevant here. Because one of the needs within that hierarchy is esteem. Therefore, recognition of their value to you as a brand actually meets this needs, or go towards meeting this needs. And we can see that here in this example. Just one moment. There we go. See how it says exclusive offers for loyal customers only. So what we've gone and done here, or what they've gone and done here, is they may not have an actual official formal loyalty program in place, right? But they've gone for the easier option Let's go and pull out that valuable segment. Let's treat them differently. And let's overtly recognize that they matter to us, that we appreciate them, that they're getting different offers, that they are being treated differently. It's really, really, crucial that we do really, really simple tactics like this. But these simple tactics are incredibly effective. So let's go and have a look at number 4. Now, this one here, this is really changing your mindset. This is what it is. It's not an absolute, tactic that you can, oh, I'm going to implement this tomorrow. You can change your mindset. You can create, get your team together and say, okay, this is it. Now, how are we going to achieve this? So when you're implementing a learning relationship, what you're doing, again, is focusing on the customer. You're focusing on their needs. And it's a relationship that gets smarter and smarter with every interaction that happens, or non-interaction as well. So like any relationship, the one-to-one learning, relationship, it builds a context of its own that becomes richer and deeper as time goes on. Again, tap into this, because, and this can be seen in a myriad of ways, again. So that AI personalization, getting to know them, try to do as much delving into your data yourself, because a lot of AI systems out there are still kind of black box like, so you can't necessarily, you get the results, but you can't necessarily get the insights. I want you guys who understand your audience, who understand your products, who understand your business goals, I want you guys to own this, right? These insights need to be owned by yourselves, so you can be including them and strategically using them as and where you can. The 5th one, increase trust, loyalty, and in turn, average order value. Now, again, this taps into that customer experience that I was talking to you about. And the customer experience ranges from the website experience to the email experience. Remember that email is actually one channel that tends to kick off a lot of the actual customer experience, because we drive them to the website, or we drive them to social, and then social might drive them to the website, or so on and so on. So what we want to do is make sure that we understand that everything that we're doing, the customer is going to be experiencing it, and we want that experience to be good. We want to be transparent. So even things like, if you do an oops email and something went wrong, either technical or an individual got something wrong or something, own up to it. Don't try and sort of wave it off. Don't try and ignore it. Well, some cases ignoring is the best thing, but more often than not, you're going to get a loyal customer just by the fact that you put your hand up and said, you know what, sorry guys, we stuffed up. Hey, but we want to make it up to you, right? So being transparent, be transparent with everything that you do from the point of sign up. Let them know how you're going to be using their data. Let them know what you're going to be sending to them. Let them know that you have them at the forefront of your strategy, right? To everything. So to the actual buying journey as well. So that putting them into the shopping cart and everything, and letting them know that this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be sending them cart reminders and so on. So what we want to do is increase that trust. And that in turn is going to be helping you to increase loyalty, which in turn is going to be helping you to increase average order value. So Salesify found that 90% of shoppers will pay more for a product from trusted brands. And the DMA consumer tracker study, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they found that most consumers have around 10 trusted brands. So it's really, really important for you to try and tap into that, especially if you're in retail. Try and tap into that so that you are one of their trusted brands. Try and be as transparent and provide them with a lovely, easy journey as much as possible. 6, so now we're talking about the discount factor, right? So discount to promote loyalty and spending. The reason why, I know it seems like I'm telling you contradictory information. I'm not, but I'm saying there's hardly, you really can't avoid this. You have to be offering, unless you're a very, very high, you know, a brand that will not under any circumstances ever discount, right? And there are some brands who have set that up. That is how they are. But there's different ways they can be rewarding them rather than a discount, okay? So again, if you're one of those brands, start to think about how you can be doing that. But 72% of consumers in a recent Statista survey, the 72% of consumers state that the main benefit to a loyalty program is to gain discounts versus 70% to gain rewards. Now, 72%, 70%, very, very, you know, minimal difference. So if you can go and deliver rewards, but not discounts, that's fine, go for it. But understand that why consumers are becoming loyal now is so that there is something in it for them. It's the old what's in it for me factor, okay? So here, Anthro, they've got a loyalty program. And they, I love this, so we want to celebrate you. A members only birthday treat, 20% off, right? Very, very typical. Sort of like it's not a novel offer or anything new or anything. It's, remember what I was saying to you, how you package it up and how you can do it. You know, the more personalized it can be. Well, no, I don't want to say that. It's not the more personalized you can be, because there always comes a tipping point where the personalization, they like to be recognized, but you don't want the creepy factor. You don't want them to know that you know lots and lots of things about them. So it's about that art. And personalization is an art. It's about getting the balance right with regards to personalization. But just understand that discounts, rewards are being sought after now by the consumers. Again, you can read those. I've brought in a couple of reports, but there are so many reports out there, consumer-based reports, and the consumers are saying this. In fact, the DMA Consumer Email Tracker also has a stat on this as well. And basically, a lot of the consumers are signing up to email because of this reason, for the discounts or the rewards or so on. That's just how it is today. Now, understand though, times change. It hasn't always been like this, and it's not always going to be like this. So, and you don't want to be absolutely dependent upon the discounts. So just put that in place in your strategy as well, so that you're not dependent on it. Implement a wish list program. Now, this is one of the ones where we're talking about that essentially will probably be very difficult for you to put in place for the holiday season. But, you know, I recommend to start doing it as soon as the holiday season has ended. These work an absolute treat. So Google did a recent survey, and they found that 40% of shoppers think that their shopping experience would be better if retailers offered a wish list where they can save items that they're interested in. And I got to agree with them. This is what I do. I tend to, whenever I've got time and I have a need, I will go to my select brands, put things in my wish list if they have them. If they haven't, I'm in trouble, right? And then when it suits me, you know, I might mull around, I might sort of, you know, have a think about it or something. Then I go back and then I buy them. There's a whole heap of ways you can use wish lists. You can say, oh, look, your wish list, an item on your wish list is on sale. How? That's a great example of helpful email marketing right there. They don't have to go there and say, oh, darn, I wanted to buy this, but I didn't know it was on sale. You've actually gone and helped them and alerted them that actually that item that you've had on your wish list is actually on sale now. Then there's other ways that you can be doing it. It's just a regular reminder. This is on your wish list as well. So if we have a look at this example, this is from Molton Brown. They're actually just starting up the wish list in this particular email, and they're saying how to create your wish list. Log in to, and also this is a great one that you can be putting in your welcome series, your onboarding, your first purchase program. You just go and say, hey, listen, did you know we've got a wish list? Here's how you use it. And again, helpful email marketing. So keep this in mind. If you haven't got a wish list, right, you need to start from the ground up, try and get that happening on the website. If you do have a wish list, but you haven't got an email program attached to it, I'm working with a client at the moment, and that is the case with them, then this is an easier scenario for you to do and implement that wish list, or the wish list program, that is. Now, I mentioned before about replenishment. So for those of you who are in the business of actually saying, hey, listen, you bought this, or you have people who keep on coming back to the same products or similar categories or something like that, then implement a replenishment program. Again, a great example of a helpful email marketing. And we can see here that the replenishment emails have an average open rate of 50 to 60%, an average click rate of 40 to 50%, and an average conversion rate of 10 to 15%. So they're very high performance. And here's a lovely example, very, very subtle, but helpful. So running low on snacks. Hey, Laura, we hoped you enjoyed your last order at the Grey Shop. Is it time to restock on tasty snacks like pure pumpkin seeds? All of this can be personalized to their purchases as well, if you can be using some form of personalization. And this email in itself is a great example of personalization. Just knowing that they have purchased before and that it's time for them to potentially purchase again, that's personalization. That's there, the customers, they're going, oh, how thoughtful, how wonderful, thank you very much. So like, oh yeah, I do be meaning to, this is great. It's a little nudge for them to actually get their act together and do it, right? Implement free shipping. We're going to see, probably you've seen free shipping being offered in other ones as well. So this particular email has got a nice big free shipping banner. They're shouting it from the rooftops. Hey guys, free shipping. And they also mention it at the bottom as well. And free shipping. Yeah. Free shipping, there's so many studies out there. This is not a new thing. For years, they've been doing surveys of consumers, and they've found that free shipping is a big favorite with the consumer. So Shopify found, they went and aggregated all of their data from all of the brands, and they found that people buy $22 more on the median order with free shipping than with paid shipping. People order about 2.5 items more with free shipping compared to less than 2 items with paid shipping. So paid shipping, sometimes we, certainly if it's a bespoke one and it's an international order or something like that, sometimes we can't circumvent it. But if at all possible, try and, build into your prices even to circumvent, to sort of, mitigate for some of these costs. Because of course, this is all eating away at your profit at the end of the day. But if at the end of the day, you do go and find that, yes, free shipping delivers a higher customer lifetime value, then, which is what this is all about, then absolutely brilliant. Even if your profit margin is lower, you're selling more, right? So these are, please, with everything that I'm saying to you today, don't just say, oh, Kath said that, we have to do this. Dive into your data. Go and do your business case. Go and actually find out, is this relevant for your business, for your products, for your consumers? And then come up and start to do a test, right? So please, 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 A/B test everything that I'm talking about. That's the best way so that you can actually not only prove the value of this particular tactic, but also you are assured that you're not delivering reduced revenue instead of the increased revenue that you'd hope to achieve. And then number 10, implement a loyalty program. So over 83% of global respondents said belonging to a loyalty program influences their decision to buy again from a brand. And here next door, over here to the left, we can see that Charlotte Tilbury is actually launching some new loyalty coins as part of the loyalty program. So these work a treat, again, this is a business decision. It's not necessarily a marketing decision. They should work in tandem with this, but it is a big thing. You need to be involving once it's been decided upon, the website team needs to get into it. You need to get a proper loyalty program running and all the rest of it. So it's a very, very big tactic. And there's no way you're going to get that done before holiday season this year, but they work a treat, and this is really what customers are looking for. So try and look into it, do your numbers, delve into your data, go and put together a business case, and see if it's going to resonate, one, with the powers that be, but two, is it going to work for you as far as the data goes. So I wanted to leave a bit of time for questions, so I'm going to just leave these takeaways here. So you can read through them, but Nick, can we jump onto some of the questions, please?
We can, Kath. Really great stuff, and we have an engaged audience with a ton of questions here. I'll tell you, if we don't get to all your questions, and we likely won't, we'll follow up on email, certainly with responses. But a couple first ones, and I'll curate here. Kath, you mentioned kind of the creepy factor in personalizing to be kind of can get creepy sometimes, and we all know when with retargeting and things. Do you have any tips for the audience on kind of how to avoid that, or tactics to kind of not be creepy?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know one thing that we use a lot with our clients is, and we always test this, please understand that, we test overt against covert, right? So let's take a really obvious one, browser abandonment, because they're known, for some people love them, some people hate them. They do work really, really well, but they can have that creepy factor. In fact, years and years and years ago, when I was teaching about email marketing, and I used to use this Amazon example. Amazon have been the leaders of A/B split testing within email for years, and they used to test the overt, covert, or even the balance of personalization. What is more important? So they used to personalize via what they previously purchased, but then they tried to mitigate that to sort of like make it less creepy by not saying, "Hi, Catherine." They actually didn't. It was personalized enough that it didn't need my name, right? So and they found that was the winning solution for them. Again, that's for them, but that's a good test to do. But overt and covert. So think about overt with the browser abandonment. Hi, Kath, we noticed that you left this behind. It would look great on you. Why not go and go back to the cart today and check it out? Okay. The other one is you could either have a soulless email again, so a promotional email, and it could just be on that particular product or that particular category, but you don't say anything. And so it turns up, so it's, oh, wow, I was just looking at that product. Wow. So it's like a serendipitous event. Another way of doing it is actually putting it into your regular promotional emails where you might have 5, 6, 10 products or so. And it's one of the ones at the top. Again, you're not going to overtly call it out and say, listen, this is, you left this, you know, or you're looking at this, right? You can do this with cart abandonment too. You are looking at this. You're not going to say that. You're just literally going to place it there, and they're going to go, oh, that's right. I'll go and check that out again. So that's where, you know, overt versus covert, and then make sure that you're testing the balance of personalization. Sometimes what you do, certainly when you're using AI, sometimes that is going to be powerful enough without you having to do too much more personalization.
Yep, makes very good sense. Great stuff. Yeah, and I will tell you, I think also, you know, using some other data. We love using zero-party data. You know, a little survey in the bottom of an email, a little survey on a landing page. Ask people what they want, and then when you start giving it to them in a highly personalized way, they kind of know there's that value exchange. They you know, it's a more maybe open way. But I love it very much. You earlier mentioned, and I know we're not going to get to all the questions, there are a bunch, but you mentioned reactivation earlier, and you mentioned, you know, the segments that are kind of important, and for many of those in the audience, likely that segment of kind of less active customers, you know, in the business and in the email channel is a pretty big segment, right? I mean, it can be for some, I don't know your experience, it can be a big percentage. Any thoughts on how to address them? And kind of, we're getting into the holidays now. It seems like now is a good time to try to address them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, we do this with our client, one of our clients. We help them with the ramping up for the holiday season. And what we do, we always make sure that we're contacting them, but on a less frequent level, because you need to have clean data, okay? So you don't leave them unattended. You have to be contacting them on a regular basis, but not as regular as the active segments, okay? So just keep that there, just so that they're churning over. And of course, if they do reactivate, then they go back into the active segment, which is wonderful. But we tend to, with this client, we tend to use the holiday offers as reactivation, as a reactivation program in itself. We also have automated reactivation programs in addition to it. So you have a lapsing automated program, a lapsed automated program, and finally that dormant automated program as well. And again, the reason why we do them as automations then is because often with the dormant ones, certainly the dormant, not so much the lapsing and the lapsed, but the dormant, they tend to hit spam complaint, and you can have problems with deliverability. So if you can have them just running at a little, you know, a tiny little bit on a daily basis, then when you look at it as a comparison to what you normally mail, it's only a small percentage. So if there is a high spam complaint, or there's high bounces or anything like that, it's not going to impact your deliverability.
Yep. Great stuff. Great stuff, Kath. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to thank everyone in the audience for joining today. We are going to be back next week with another masterclass, an excellent session focused on inbox commerce. If you want to learn more about what you saw today, I highly encourage you to go to Amazon and order Kath's book, which is again a great resource for any email marketer, any digital marketer at all. And also tune in next week for the next edition of our master class. Kath, thank you so much for being here this week.
My pleasure. My pleasure.